Update. Husband attempted to manipulate me. I called his bluff. Now what? Original post. I, 35 female, have been married to my husband, 37 male, for 5.5 years, and we have an 18-month-old daughter. We've generally had a good marriage, but we've repeatedly had the same 2 arguments for over 3 years. The first argument is that I work full-time, pay 85% of our bills, and do all of the cooking, cleaning, shopping, laundry, running of the household, etc. He also works full-time, but after work, he comes home, immediately takes off his work clothes, throws them on the couch in my living room, and goes into the family room to watch YouTube. I have repeatedly asked for help and get the runaround. The second is that he has a small porn addiction and suffers from premature ejaculation, an issue in itself, but not our main problem currently. For the last week and a half or so, I had been running 80 miles an hour getting ready for the holiday this week. I was cleaning the house, washing the bedding in the guest room, cleaning the fridge, doing all the bits and pieces you need to do to host family for Thanksgiving. I was also doing all of my daily tasks. For example, on a typical day, I wake up, make sure his, mine, and the baby's lunches are packed. She's dressed for daycare, my work bag is packed, then drive to work. After work, I drive to daycare to pick up our daughter, often taking meetings via phone on the commute. I run any errands that need to be done, grocery, Costco, pharmacy, etc. Come home, immediately breastfeed the baby, start dinner so we can eat once he's home, give the baby a bath, let her play while I clean off the table, do the dishes, clean the kitchen, tidy up, feed her again, get her to sleep, and then finally take a shower myself. It's all basic daily tasks, but I don't stop until 9 to 10 at night. Last week, I asked again for help, but was told that he needed the break because he was tired. I naturally told him that I never get a break, that I'm tired too, and need help with the house. If he can't contribute financially at 50%, he could at least contribute half of the cleaning. He shut down and gave me the silent treatment for 2 days, then asked if I wanted to go to his mother's house with him and the baby. I said only if he wasn't going to ignore me the whole time. That was the match that lit the fuse. He exploded. Evidently, I've done nothing but bitch for the last 3 years. He said he hates cleaning and isn't going to do it, and that if his contributing is such a big deal, then we should divorce. I asked him what that would look like to him. He said, I'll get an apartment and sign the house over to you. Refinance it in your name. We'll split custody 50-50 and split her expenses 50-50 as well. Then he stormed out of the house and went to his mother's until about 1 a.m. He gave me the silent treatment for another 2 days. The other day, I asked him how his apartment hunting was going, and he said, What? I told him I thought he was right. I had been bitching about this for 3 years. I'm miserable, and he's not helping make my life easier. I agreed divorce was the best option and that I'd rather separate as friends and be good co-parents than grow to hate him and feel stuck in a toxic marriage. He then said, I only said that to scare you into shutting up. Basically, he attempted to emotionally abuse and manipulate me to get his way. As someone who grew up in a toxic and abusive household, this immediately shut me down emotionally. I look at him now and I feel nothing. He's trying to get back in my good graces, bringing flowers, chocolates, and all it does is make me angrier. I need advice. Is the fact that he tried to manipulate me and admitted it a valid reason for me to just want to shut this down? Because I have to be honest, I'm tempted to ruin Thanksgiving. I don't know if I'm just angry and reacting out of that, or if I'm truly at the end of my rope. Now for the top advice before reading the update. So he does nothing, contributes almost nothing, and the sex is bad? And he thought he'd scare you by saying he'd leave you? That doesn't sound scary. That sounds like a gift. This is what I said to my BFF when I was talking it out with her. Don't threaten me with a good time. But I needed the kick in the butt Reddit will give me, I think. He's not just manipulating you, he's exploiting you. You're carrying the financial burden, all household responsibilities, childcare, and he tried to use divorce as a weapon when you ask for a basic partnership. His admissions that he was trying to scare you into shutting up shows he views your valid needs as an inconvenience to be silenced. You're already functioning as a single parent while bankrolling his lifestyle. The only difference is you have an adult dependent who throws his clothes on your couch and watches YouTube while you exhaust yourself. The flowers and chocolates now aren't remorse. They're panic because his emotional blackmail didn't work. You're not overreacting. You're finally seeing clearly. When someone tells you they'd rather divorce than contribute to their own household, and that admits they were just trying to scare you into compliance, believe that revelation. He's showing you he prioritizes his comfort over your well-being and will use emotional warfare to maintain it. You're not angry because of the manipulation attempt. You're angry because it exposed the fundamental disrespect at the core of your marriage. He contributes minimally financially, does nothing domestically, and when confronted tries to weaponize divorce to silence you. The flowers aren't going to fix this level of betrayal. He wants 50-50 custody, yet cannot manage 50-50 parenting with the other parent in the home. If he's somehow granted 50% custody, he is in for a massive shock. Good. Let him learn. This man effed around and it's find out time. OP, you've called a lawyer, right? You need to get the drop on him for filing before his mommy does it for him. And congratulations on your upcoming liberation from the sad freeloading limp dick you're married to. I have an appointment with one next week for a consult. And what makes me laugh is my sister-in-law knows about the issue and 100% thinks his mom and dad are going to be angry with him. Evidently, they have told him he needs to step up previously. You don't need permission to leave, but here it is anyway. You have permission to leave this really toxic situation, and you will probably be happier without him dragging you down. I don't know why this comment made me cry, but it did. I think I did need permission to leave. I feel selfish for wanting more and breaking the family. I was raised in a family where divorce wasn't an option. Now I have cut off my family and don't have that additional pressure, but I guess old wounds still fester. Now for the update 6 months later. It's been a while since I posted, but I wanted to let things play out and give you a full update. First, I want to say thank you to all of you who responded and gave encouragement. You helped more than you know. I did it. I filed for divorce. Our divorce should be final by mid-June. He fought it for a few months, but finally seems to understand that I can't move on, and I won't let him rug sweep it anymore. He's still talking about hoping for a future reconciliation, but I told him that honestly, without massive amounts of therapy for both of us, I don't see much hope there. Once he accepted that I wasn't giving in and that the divorce was real, he actually became agreeable to discussing terms and working with me on custody arrangements, housing, etc. That's not to say we didn't have our drama. Lord knows we did. Fortunately, nothing too physical toward me. He grabbed me a few times, trying to force me to stay in a room to get yelled at, but I set him straight real quick. His threats were mostly directed toward self-harm. The first time was back in February. He was still in denial that I'd filed and was very angry about losing the best things in his life. He threatened to go downstairs and take his own life. Because I'm stubborn as the day is long and don't have the sense God gave a goose, I followed him down there. I ended up wrestling his gun away and locking myself and the toddler in the bedroom. I should have called the police. I still don't know why I didn't. Instead, I called his brother and told him to come get him. They did, and the next day, I took the gun to his parents, which was unloaded and never had ammo because he was manipulating me again, and said if that gun ever made another appearance in my home or around my child, I would ensure he was never around her again. It hasn't been seen since. A few weeks later on their birthday, our toddler and soon-to-be ex share a birthday, he jumped off my 2-story deck after my daughter's party. I didn't see it happen. I came down the hall and our 2-year-old said, "Mama, Daddy fall." I walked outside and found him kneeling by my lawnmower, claiming he was fixing it. Obviously, my 2-year-old hasn't learned to lie yet. I texted my friend and said, "I'm pretty sure he just jumped off the deck. He doesn't seem hurt, but I don't know what to do." As I hit send, I heard him on the deck talking to our kid. I looked out the door and saw him leaning off the edge, obviously about to jump again. I lost it. It probably wasn't the appropriate thing to say, and I might be a terrible person for saying it, but it worked, and I don't regret it. I told him, "So help me God, if you jump off this deck and die, I will move, and your family will likely only see her once a year. If you jump and live, I guarantee you'll never see her unsupervised again. You step back over that railing and get both feet on this deck right now, or I swear to God, I'll make sure of it." He stepped back pretty quickly. Of course, he then wanted to argue about how I was driving him to this, how he didn't deserve to be left alone, how I was breaking his heart. I reminded him that he had spent the last almost 4 years breaking my heart and spirit, and I was done having this conversation. As I turned to walk away, this man grabbed my wrist to force me to turn around. I already had my phone in my hand, and I have never called 911 so fast in my life. The police showed up and took him to the hospital for a psych evaluation. I was under the impression that a self-harm attempt in this state required a 72-hour hold. They released him after 2 hours, suggesting he talk to a therapist. I didn't want to involve the police. I really tried to avoid it. But part of me wishes I had involved them earlier. He has been much more docile and accepting since. No more grabbing, no more threats. We still argue, but at least the worst part seems to have ended. It helps that even his parents are telling him, "She called the cops on you. She's crazy. Let her go." I'm fine being labeled the crazy one. I've been called worse by better people. Thank you again. Y'all were the voice of reason I needed, and you have no idea how many times I read those comments when I needed encouragement and felt like I had no one in my corner. Maybe good to document all of these actions with your attorney, and that he be required to have supervised visitation for the foreseeable future, regardless of how he is acting now. He still doesn't sound mentally stable enough to be a sole parent during his time with your child, or beyond some other action such as abducting your kid. Sorry you've gone through all this, but I think your child's safety should be your paramount thoughts. Absolutely. Have made sure everything is documented and ensured he is in fact seeing a therapist. Fortunately, his time with our kid happens with his parents present, as he is staying there for now. They might not like me very much right now, but I trust them. They have made it very clear that I'm still family to them. I'm glad you're aiming to be free, but from reading that, my heart and stomach plummeted, especially when you said he is now more docile and accepting. This particular time is now the most dangerous for you and your daughter. He's unstable and has access to a gun. You need to insist he's never unsupervised around her. You need to stop being around him. I really hope I'm proven wrong here, but everything is pointing to him escalating. I'm proud of you for getting out. You gave him more chances than most would, and his own actions sealed the deal. He weaponized threats, manipulated your emotions, refused to contribute as a partner, and tried to keep control even through the divorce. You stayed strong through it all, for yourself and your daughter. Here's to your peace, your freedom, and your future. Last story. My 35 female boyfriend, 32 male, is mad about what I said about his sister's miscarriage and weight, and I don't know how to fix the situation. One of my boyfriend's sisters, Cindy, 29 female, had a miscarriage back in December. Her doctor told her it was because of her weight, and that if she ever wanted to have a baby, she needed to lose at least 100 pounds. After that, she went on all sorts of diets trying to shed the weight. Keto cabbage soup, 1,000 calories a day, you name it, she tried it. And she did lose weight, a lot of it, really fast. She was losing almost 20 pounds a month, and she looked awful. And during all of this, she continued to actively try to have a baby. She got 2 positive pregnancy tests, both confirmed by a doctor, but neither made it past 8 weeks. Each time she miscarried, she was further devastated and couldn't understand why she lost the baby when she was doing what her doctor said and losing weight. She was very vocal about all of this, both with family and at our shared workplace. Crying in the break room, taking extra days off to see her faith healer, constantly asking people to pray for her and her lost baby's souls. It's really, really sad. She called out for her 3rd miscarriage this weekend and blew up the group chat, telling my boyfriend and me that we absolutely had to go to church with her and her husband on Saturday night, and to cancel the date we'd had planned for months. My boyfriend is a good man, but he's also getting tired of having to drop everything for his sister's grief. When we were getting ready for church, he told me he didn't understand why Cindy was still having so much trouble when she's losing so much weight. In a former life, pre-COVID, I was studying to be a dietitian. Due to financial constraints, I didn't finish, but I still have a solid knowledge on the subject. So I told my boyfriend that I thought the rapid weight loss is probably hurting things more than helping. Cindy has essentially told her body that they're starving to death, use up all the fat reserves so they can survive, etc. And if her body thinks they don't have enough food for them to live, then it's definitely not going to waste energy on forming a baby. Pregnancy is intensely taxing on the body. A body in a state of constant, months-long caloric deficit isn't going to let her stay pregnant. She needs to reach her goal weight and stay there for a while before trying to get pregnant again. I also think she needs to talk to an actual fertility specialist, or at least an OBGYN, instead of her family doctor who, from what Cindy said, didn't actually run any tests, just saw a fat woman who'd had a miscarriage and told her to lose 2/5 of her body weight, so she didn't kill her future babies. Also, a therapist, because her faith healer is trying to get her to wear a crystal belt to unlock her fertility chakra. She's a snake oil saleswoman who's slapping together New Age crystal BS with Pentecostalism, willy-nilly to scam vulnerable people out of their money. My boyfriend apparently told Cindy what I said, trying to help, and now she's flown off the handle and sent me 20 texts telling me I don't know what I'm talking about and that I'm a bitch who's never supported her. Which, maybe I don't? I haven't examined her. I'm not privy to her entire medical history, and I'm not any kind of fertility expert. I know that rapid weight loss hurts your body though, and I only know what she said, which is quite a lot if we're being honest. She hasn't talked about anything that isn't dead babies or weight loss related in 6 months. So now I'm being asked to switch shifts at work, or at least work in a different area until the whole thing blows over. And I'm not allowed near any family functions. My boyfriend is solidly on his sister's side, saying I was talking out of turn for speculating like that. He doesn't want to be with me until I can figure out how to fix the damage I did to my relationship with his sister. I really don't know how I'm supposed to make amends with her, or where to even start. Now for the top comments. You dodged a bullet. You didn't say anything to her directly. You were asked by your boyfriend in confidence, and he said it to her probably way less sympathetically and then blamed you. He thought he was helping by passing along my expert opinion, but when it upset Cindy, he backtracked, and now he thinks it's my fault that it upset her, because it was still my words. But I wasn't present when he told her what I said, so I don't know how exactly he's quoted me. He's really not a bad person. He's just really close to his sisters. No, he's a D-head. He threw you under the bus, then blamed you. You spoke privately to him. He violated the privacy of your relationship and then had the actual outrageous cheek to blame you. Get away from this toxic mess. My boyfriend is solidly on his sister's side, that I was talking out of turn for speculating like that. He doesn't want to be with me until I can figure out how to fix the damage I did to my relationship with his sister. The hell? He's the one that did the damage by telling her. Let them be mad, honestly. Maybe it was the wake-up call Cindy needed. I'd reconsider my relationship after the stunt your boyfriend pulled, though. Sorry, but your boyfriend is not very bright. Many women deliberately eat healthy for a year before getting pregnant so the baby will be healthy. What you told him is true. He does not have your back.